You remember the GATE program, Gifted and Talented Education. You remember the special classroom, the advanced lessons, and the feeling of being selected. If you thought it was about college and scholarships, you were wrong. For decades, under the benign cover of public education, a secret government operation was running in plain sight. This was not a program for future scholars. This was a program for future assets. We have spent months piecing together the memories of former participants, comparing them to the declassified intelligence archives, and identifying the personnel who created the bridge between the elementary school classroom and the deepest, most controversial projects of the Central Intelligence Agency and Department of Defense. In this video, we reveal the truth. The Gifted and Talented Education Program, known as GATE, T.A.G, and AIM, were elaborate, decades-long projects designed not to educate children, but to identify, test, and psychologically classify the most powerful minds in the nation for undisclosed purposes. This is the story of the gifted deception. To understand the deception, we must first understand the cover story. Officially, the identification of gifted children began in the 19th century. The earliest systematic efforts to educate gifted students being instituted in St. Louis public schools by William Torrey Harris in 1868. These programs were established within the framework of educational psychology and national priorities for academic excellence. But the real urgency, the pressure that created the conditions for intelligence agency takeover, began in the Cold War. In the 1950s, after the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the US government became fixated on producing future leaders in science and technology. The official narrative was, we must not fall behind. This national security mandate provided the perfect, plausible excuse for highly specialized, highly secretive classes. In 1983, A Nation at Risk was published. This was a report commissioned by the United States National Commission on Excellence in Education. This report highlighted the United States falling behind in virtually every field. This, along with the frenzy of the Cold War, intensified the pressure on intelligence agencies to seek novel solutions. During the Cold War, the U.S. public education system viewed the gifted child as a critical national resource, leading to intense, highly specialized and accelerated GATE programs. This public and documented national mandate for scientific and technological superiority, requiring the development of future leaders, resulted in K-12 programs that felt intensely serious and specialized to their participants. By 1988, the Jacob Javits Gifted and Talented Students Education Act was passed. But this period, the 1970s through the 1990s, is the operational sweet spot, the exact moment when the public-facing programs GATE, T.A.G, AIM collided with the hidden clandestine operations of the intelligence community. The cover was successful because the public objective was already high-stakes scientific superiority. No one questioned why the tests felt like interrogations or the lessons felt like spy training. Our analysis suggests that the core purpose of GATE was a sophisticated psychological operation, or PSYOP. We believe this PSYOP needed two things: a model for illegal human experimentation and a source of psychological doctrine. The model was, of course, the CIA's notorious Project MKULTRA, which began in 1953 and was ostensibly halted in 1973. MKUltra was a sprawling, illegal program focused on developing behavior modification techniques, utilizing sensory deprivation, hypnosis, and the covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, often to unwitting citizens. Former GATE participants have recalled being given special juice. You might remember the pink drink given to GATE participants. Some remember it being banana-flavored. It's been theorized that this was fluoride to lower IQ and silence psychic potential. In other words, asset control. Others think this had to do with behavioral modification or memory modification, an elixir to suppress memories of the program. Whatever it was for is not merely an odd memory. It's a direct echo of MKUltra's documented practice of chemical experimentation on non-consenting subjects. If the CIA had a 2-decade-long history of covert chemical testing on adults and unwitting citizens, why would they stop at children? For the doctrine and ethos of the GATE program, evidence points to the Tavistock Institute of Human Relations. This British organization specializes in group behavior studies. In the context of the broader GATE conspiracy, Tavistock is alleged to have overseen the project from abroad, providing the psychological blueprint for classification and control, stemming from their research conducted after World War II to identify the world's most powerful minds. This is where things get a little weird. The public GATE program overlaps precisely with a verifiable declassified intelligence project, the STARGATE project. STARGATE was a secret U.S. Army unit established in 1977 and operating until 1995, dedicated to the investigation of psychic phenomenon or anomalous mental phenomenon for military intelligence. Their key method? Remote viewing, the purported ability to psychically gather information about distant locations. Now listen to the testimonies of former GATE students and the declassified facts. Like the Gateway audio tests. Former GATE students have reported being subjected to anomalous audio tests at school, administered by non-school personnel. They remember putting on large padded headphones and listening to a woman's voice guiding them through a meditation-type testing session. This description perfectly mirrors the CIA's Gateway program, a specific methodology developed by the Monroe Institute for the military. Gateway utilized audio technology known as hemisync to promote altered states of consciousness and explore non-physical realities. The children were being tested for psychic potential right in the classroom. They were not simply meditating or having their hearing tested. They were being subjected to military-grade psychological conditioning. The key person connecting the military project to civilian technology is Lieutenant Frederick Holmes Skip Atwater. Atwater was the operations and training officer for the Army's secret remote viewing program for 10 years until 1987. Upon leaving the Army, where did he end up? He became the president of the Monroe Institute, the same institute that developed the Gateway audio technology. The intelligence officer who oversaw the military's psychic recruitment moved directly to the civilian institute that held the technology allegedly used on children. GATE participants' anomalous memories extend beyond the headphones. Former students have shared workbooks and assignments suggesting training for intelligence work, including cracking codes and using the alphabet reverse code to decipher messages, worksheets in Morse code, intense targeted instruction in the Russian language, and specific psychological extrasensory tests such as Zener cards or ESP tests. These are not the lessons of any old standard gifted program, they are the initial training of a future operative. If the GATE program wasn't about grades, then what was its true purpose? The conspiracy suggests a sophisticated system of population classification designed to sort the most intellectually powerful children into predetermined societal roles. The intelligence apparatus was not just testing for IQ, it was testing for compliance. It suggests two categories of classification, the obedient and the anti-authoritarian. The obedient selection children were classified as smart but obedient and were channeled into positions of prominence: government, industry, academia, and the system's future architects and managers. The anti-authoritarian selection children were classified as smart but anti-authoritarian and were singled out for other purposes. The theory suggests that this group was intentionally prepared for roles outside of the established order, perhaps to play a part in a planned societal collapse and rebuilding. The criteria used for selection were disturbing and highly specific, often recalled by former participants who believe that they are classified as anti-authoritarian. High IQ and INTJ Myers-Briggs personality types, distinct physical markers including blue eyes and the presence of an occipital bun, the so-called math bump. Psychological symptoms like frequent migraines, nosebleeds, and consistent memory loss surrounding the details of the program. The system wasn't interested in making every gifted child a leader. It was interested in making sure that every gifted child served the classified agenda. And the conspiracy doesn't end with G.A.T.E. To create a program of this scope, the intelligence community would require redundant, overlapping systems hidden under different names, creating a vast net that no child could escape. The school system itself became a dragnet for these children. We see evidence of this expansion in other acronyms, such as T.A.G, which serve the same public function, and AIM. While AIM is publicly described as an academic enrichment program in the context of the larger operation, these programs become interchangeable screening layers. Any program that sought to isolate and intensely study these extraordinary children became a potential vector for the state's secret agenda. And the darkest part of this agenda? The G.A.T.E. operation required not just a psychological blueprint, but a totalizing esoteric cosmology to define its mission and its targets. These programs are alleged to have utilized a sophisticated blending of verifiable facts with complex occult doctrines. References cite Helena Blavatsky, the founder of Theosophy, and the concept of ascended masters, directly connecting the program's hidden agenda to the study of pagan beliefs and ancestral spirits. Blavatsky, a Russian and American mystic, co-founded the Theosophical Society in 1875. Theosophy teaches that a secretive brotherhood of spiritual adepts, the masters of the ancient wisdom, who possess supernatural powers, disseminated their teachings via Blavatsky. This established the program's spiritual authority. The occult connection goes deeper into the U.S. military intelligence community itself. Michael Aquino was an American political scientist and a U.S. Army officer specializing in psychological warfare. Crucially, Aquino was the founder and high priest of the Temple of Set, an occult religious organization established in 1975. Setianism, sometimes identified as a form of Satanism, promotes the idea of self-deification, attaining an immortality of consciousness. The fact that Michael Aquino, a U.S. Army psychological warfare specialist, was simultaneously leading a major occult religion confirms the fusion of military intelligence and esoteric doctrine at the highest levels of military intelligence. The ultimate darkest implication of the G.A.T.E. program connects to Aleister Crowley's 1917 occult novel, Moonchild. The novel revolves around a magical war fought over an unborn child who is intended to be magically created or influenced to be a superior being. The G.A.T.E. program's intense focus on identifying and utilizing gifted individuals for operational use directly mirrors this occult goal. The attempt to engineer a new spiritual or psychic entity, the Moonchild, a new life form or master of consciousness capable of wielding immense paranormal power for the intelligence community. The Gifted and Talented Education Program was one of the greatest psychological operations run against America's children. It was a fusion of the chemical experimentation of MKULTRA, the psychic recruitment of Stargate, and the psychological classification of an elite shadowy force. The evidence presented by those who were there, the audio tests, the classified curriculum, the strange personnel, shows a pattern that cannot be dismissed as coincidence. The system was designed to tell you that your exceptional mind was a blessing, which may be true, but a deeper truth is this: it made you a target. If you were in G.A.T.E. or T.A.G or AIM, your memories of anomalous tests, of code breaking, and of strange physical sensations are credible, verifiable components of a secret government project that ran at least from 1977 to 1995. The program may be officially dormant, but the students that it classified, the minds it manipulated, are now adults. They are everywhere, and they are waking up to the truth that they were not just students in a special class. They were the psychic soldiers of a program that has yet to reveal its ultimate terrifying purpose. Thank you for watching. Please like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.